All right. So, I was chosen to go over NTSB reporting requirements for the um, 6120.1 form for the NTSB. So basically, we'll start at the purpose. It's to ensure the learner understands the National Transportation Safety Board accident and incident reporting requirements, including when, how, and by whom reports must be submitted, so like who to send them to. Uh, Knowledge is pretty critical in the professional development of a commercial pilot because they need to be able to uh, basically take action if something were to go wrong, especially if they're going to be paid to fly people around. It ensures the compliance that they have with federal law, and it also supports aviation safety as a whole. So, objectives here would be by the end of the lesson, the learner as a commercial student should be able to explain when an accident or incident must be reported and basically how to find when it must be reported under 49 CFR Part 830. They need to be able to describe the process of filling out an NTSB form, the 6120.1, using a case study, and I have that case study. I'll be talking about that a little more. And then they'll also be able to identify the pilot and command's role and responsibilities in reporting. So that'll be them reporting. That's kind of a secondary objective because it's kind of covered by the other two objectives. This lesson is complete, basically the completion standards, when the learner can correctly identify situations that require immediate NTSB notification versus later reporting, such as if the NTSB requests it versus like when you need to immediately report an incident. Demonstrate the ability to complete the key sections of Form 6120.1 for provided case study scenario, the one I'm going to show. That's part of the completion standard. All of this is going to be assessed as well. And then accurately reference the NTSB 830 regulations without prompting. So they could have like a book in front of them. As long as they know where to look, I believe that's perfectly fine. They don't need to know exactly what the wording is off the top of their head. For a lot of this, a lot of people don't, but they need to know where to go, for sure. So for my content, basically we would go over the NTSB Part 830 overview. So I'm gonna flip my phone around right here. Hope you can see that. So right here, we would just go over 830.1, the applicability definitions, basically going over like the hospitalization requirements and results in the fracture of any bone. Second or third degree burns, those are just incidents involving like people being hurt, and then immediate notification. They need to know when they need to basically immediately notify the NTSB. There's a few ones that are kind of big in here, like electronic flight systems, like things that you could run into in the planes that we fly. The information being given, the preservation. So basically like how it would work, this isn't really necessary. We're just going over the form filling and what you need to fill the form and when you would fill the form, but still it's good to know that. And basically reporting the aircraft accidents, incidents, and overdue aircraft. And then immediate notification requirements, I've already gone over that. Written reporting requirements, so basically the NTSB form 6120, when it must be filled, it's usually within 10 days of the accident, but there are immediate requirements. We would go over basically the entire form. I don't think it's necessary to go over, say, like right here it says owner operator information. This is all self-guided, really. A commercial pilot should be able to understand and figure out where they need to go, but there are some things that need to be explained, like I found some right here, down here a little bit. Like you need to fill out the weather information, and then you also need to give a narrative of the entire flight. I would teach them how to basically run through it, and because it can be typically easy to forget stuff in traumatic situations, it's important to remind the student that they were the pilot in command, and they need to keep in mind the responsibilities that the pilot in command carries. And in this case, it would be filling out the entire form and the necessity to fill out the entire form. Then I'd be going over the case study. So right here, I have the case study of a PA-28 in Scottsdale, actually. So it's pretty nearby. I wanted to find one that was nearby and pretty recent. There was a minor injury and loss of engine power, and obviously that would be an immediate notification to the NTSB, but there was also some structural damage to the aircraft on a narrow graveled road between a chain link fence and water canal. During the landing sequence, the right wing struck the fence, which resulted in substantial damage to the right wing, both ailerons and left horizontal stabilizer and left elevator. So I could include that in my assessment by saying, after we've gone over the entire CFR thing, part 830, asking them, how can this basically go about reporting? Like, how would you report this? Would you report it immediately? Trying to get an answer out of them, sort of guiding them a little bit, but they should be able to understand that you need to report something like this immediately. The person in this scenario lost all engine power because the oil pressure completely dropped. This was at night, and he managed to land it on a gravel road, but it severed the wing on a fence, and he managed to live another day. There was minor injuries, but I mean, all around, he handled it pretty well. Thank God. For this instructional aid thing, I would have this plane. I'm going to keep this plane for a while. I would basically talk about how the wing is severed. It was the right wing in this case. So this is the right wing here. It might be flipped. But boom, this wing's off. And the landing gear was actually torn off as well. And I would basically say, all right, you're missing your right wing here. Is that like an immediate report? Obviously it is. And you've lost your engine power. So that's obviously guaranteed. My computer, obviously, is another instructional aid. Being able to have the 6120 up is very integral for being able to show this to a student. If you didn't have this up, I mean, what is even the point of going over this scenario? So, I mean, the flexibility part, I tried to include that a little bit. If the student's kind of like losing it, I just try to go over the definitions a little slower, and try not to use too much words when asking about the reporting incident with the case study. And if they're doing really well, I'd discuss nuances, like maybe go over another case study. It doesn't take that long to look one up, so I'd probably just go over another one. It'd take like an extra 2 minutes. And then the assessment tool, just a short verbal quiz. Give 3 student scenarios: bird strike, no damage, in-flight fire, and taxi and collision baggage cart, reportable. And I'm basically hoping to see whether they can do an immediate. So no damage is not an NTSB unless they request it. Yes, immediate call, and then yes, substantial damage, and we basically cut it off there.